It was never clear whether the Heartbreakers got to record. But what was a fact was that they stayed in Mexico for 6 months. The band rented a villa in Cuernavaca, just outside the capital. And the word got back that they were living the high life. The colonial city of Cuernavaca was once home to Maximiliano, Emperor of Mexico crowned by Napoleon, and to Carlota, the wife who went mad. Just outside Mexico City with year-round temperate weather, it was a popular getaway. In the early 1960s, Hollywood stars like Elizabeth Taylor and Eddie Fisher made Acapulco their playground. But private folks with means preferred charming Cuernavaca. Some had second homes, families went on weekends, and couples rendezvoused. Landlocked, the city had swimming pools throughout. The villa my father and friends leased had one. Family in Chicago resided in rented flats. The idea of a private pool was grandiose. The Heartbreakers also had a full-time housekeeper, a girl from a village by the name of Maria. They were guys used to doting mothers and traditional wives picking up after them, doing laundry and cooking, so a full-time housekeeper, while also in the realm of grandiose back home, made sense there. My parents were courting at the time. There were a few letters exchanged between them, marking that period when my mother said she called off their engagement more than once. Back then, phoning long distance was expensive and complicated. You could go weeks without hearing from someone far away, and it wasn't a big deal. Mundo's lady, my future mom, was too practical to look for him. But she mentioned he did call a couple of times, collect. As Dad told it, a story repeated to the same captive audience over the years. That evening, he and the guys were hanging out in the living room, enjoying cocktails and listening to the hi-fi stereo. Mundo made no mention of female guests, but later, in my grown-up mind, I figured them in, svelte and tight-fitting satin dresses, or with cropped hair and in go-go boots. I imagined the girls doing the cha-cha solo while sipping martinis. As the night wore on, everyone got soused. That night, someone in the group suddenly stopped and became fixated in the direction of the kitchen entrance. His face having gone pale, they all turned to see. A nude woman emerged with a glazed expression. She moved slowly, although it didn't seem she was taking steps. It was like she was gliding above the floor, my dad said, as his gaze in the distance returned him to Cuernavaca. It seemed a faint wave of hesitation ran over his face. The figure didn't appear to be aware of anyone, but continued toward the spiral travertine stairs with wrought iron banisters. She ascended, not by taking steps up, but floating like an angel, Mundo recalled. Once she reached the top landing, she was out of sight. One of the guys hurried to the landing, eyes popping and looking up, and called out, "She's not there!" She must have gone into one of the bedrooms, they all surmised. But no one volunteered to go up and check. Instead, my dad and a couple of others hurried to the kitchen. How had she gotten into the house? The back door was locked, as were the windows. The shutters were bolted from the inside. Even as years passed, my father never failed to add one other detail, so indelibly engraved on his mind. As the mysterious lady moved from the kitchen to the staircase and ascended, each of the witnesses swore she became transparent. "I don't believe in ghosts," Dad repeated at the end of the account. But that is what we saw. One of us would never fail to inquire, maybe it was me, initially the smallest and youngest member of the family and most willing to show gullibility. Did anyone ever see the lady again? Each time, my father seemed reluctant to answer. And each time, the reply was the same.